Warrior Nation, welcome back to the Warrior Wrap-Up once again. I'm your host, as always, Sam Egelowitz. I'm here today with a very special guest, a man who we saw make a tremendous impact at the anniversary show last month, December 4th. Danny Storm, winner of the anniversary show Battle Royal. How you feeling, man?
I'm at a loss for words. Winning that, I did exactly what I said what I was going to do. Last month, I stood in front of the camera. I said, you know what? I'm going to prove to everybody that Danny Storm belongs on the main show. I'm going to win the whole thing. And I followed up with my promise. I won the Battle Royal. It was an incredible experience. There was new faces, old faces, veterans, a lot of talent in that ring. And I'm really honored to say that I was the last one standing.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much.
Very happy for you to see that.
Thank you.
So what I want to ask also is, were there some guys in that match that you hadn't been in there with before, some of the veterans or some of the newer trainees or things of that nature? Anyone that gave you a surprise? Didn't think they'd hit that hard, didn't think they'd slam that hard, etc.?
Yeah, obviously we're talking first veterans. Obviously Abdul Nasir, I've been scrapping with him, so I knew exactly what to expect. But someone like Scotty Priest, who I have not really crossed paths with, hit me the hardest I've been hit in my entire career so far. I probably still have the mark. I had his handprint on my chest for like a week. It was brutal. But then moving on from the veterans, we definitely had some of the newer faces that I see a lot of potential in. Jake Israel threw Mike and I into the corner and splashed both of us. Just really creative offense using his size. So Kayla really lasted a long time in that match.
Yes, she did.
Got a few eliminations, I believe. So, the future of Warriors of Wrestling, a lot of promise in that field.
Hell yeah, I agree completely. Jake Israel made a good impression in that match. Magnus Doom made a good impression. First impressions I'm talking about. And Kayla hung in there a while. She really looked like she belonged out there, which was
Absolutely.
really cool to see. So I want to talk about the moment in the Battle Royal when it came down to the last six of you. Right? And the battle lines were kind of drawn. And it turned out to be that on one side of things were three of the up-and-coming guys that we've seen on pre-shows for a while that I think are kind of at the top of the current training class, being you, Mike Titello, and Matt Anarchy. And then on the other side, three of the legends and veterans of Warriors of Wrestling, Rivera, Abdul Nasir, and Scotty Priest. So what was that like for you, that moment that you realized, oh goodness, like this is happening? It's us three and them three. That moment when the lines were drawn, what was that like?
Yeah, you described it perfectly. The lines were drawn and I knew exactly what side I was representing. I was with, Mike Titello and Matt Anarchy. These guys I've poured blood, sweat, and tears over the last many months in the ring practicing with. And we were against what seemed to be had all the odds against us. Years of experience, physical size, just veteran instincts. So you could even see it. We started off, we got the upper hand at first, but then they picked us apart one by one. You saw Matt Anarchy took the spine buster, and I felt like I was just watching my friends, just be honestly destroyed in front of me. I was like, think of how am I going to get out of this? And that's how, Mike and I used our teamwork, and we got out of there. We were the final two. We took down the veterans. Again, I'm really honored to be able to say I did that. I'm really proud.
You
Mike and I. Yeah.
You both should be. And I wanted to ask about Mike next because we saw you guys come down to the final two, right? We've seen you team up once or twice on pre-shows before. Definitely two of the cream of the crop as far as the training class goes here at Warriors. And it came down to you two in the ring. And a moment that was really interesting to me, if you remember the Battle Royal, was there was a point when you eliminated Abdul Nasir that you were both over the top rope.
Yes.
And one of you could have easily taken a cheap shot to go for the win, but that didn't happen. You got in the ring, handled it like gentlemen, and then at the end of the match, Mike came in to give you a handshake and you guys had a hug and exchanged some words. So what's the relationship like with you guys? Is there a mutual respect there? Is there a...
Yeah, 100% respect, because again, as you've said, we've teamed up a few times on the pre-show, and we've also been teaming up a little bit during practices. We found that we work so well together through our competition with each other. We were having a match one-on-one versus each other during training. And I remember Joey B was really eyed in on that. He really liked what he was seeing, him and I giving each other, there was just such fire between both of us. And then we realized, maybe we could put this together. And that's why that respect is there. That's why, I could have given him a cheap shot there. He could have given me a cheap shot, but we both said, let's just get in the ring, square off, see who's the better man, one-on-one, fresh slate. And even though I came out on top, I 100% think that could have went either way.
It could have.
He flipped over me, and I was just really lucky to read him. And I think that's because I know him so well because of training, So, yeah, I mean, that was an incredible moment. I wouldn't have wanted anybody else to share that ring with at the end there. That was just, again, a lot of respect for that man. And, he has a bright future ahead of him. So
I would agree. I think the both of you do. Cream rises to the top. And I think we saw that completely on display in the Battle Royal with you guys. And Matt as well, coming into the finals there. Jade and W lasted quite a while.
Yeah.
Cream rises, hard work pays off. So, Danny Storm, the next show, Warriors of Wrestling, January 15th, is New Beginnings, and there couldn't be a more appropriate name for that show. The new year is a bit of a reset for Warriors, a bit of a season premiere, if you will. Clean slate for a lot of guys. So you are going into the new year, going into New Beginnings, with an absolute wave of momentum from winning that Battle Royal. So I guess my final question for you before I get you out of here is, what are your plans for New Beginnings for the new year now that you're basically on the main show with that Battle Royal win, more or less? What do you plan to do with that momentum that you have?
I have plans. I definitely have plans. I have ideas. Again, I set out and I showed everybody that I belong on that main show, and I don't want that to be a fluke. I want to be on the main show. I want to stay on the main show. I want to collect victories on the main show. And when we sat here the first time, remember, we said maybe no limits championship, maybe tag team championships. Why limit myself to one? So
you sound like you have something in mind, but you don't want to give your cards away quite yet. There's something specific in there. Am I right?
Absolutely.
I guess we'll have to wait and see what Danny Storm, the Eye of the Storm, is planning on doing with that momentum. Anything else you want to say before I get you out of here?
No, just, again, really honored to have that opportunity to come out on top. And again, anybody could have won that match. And I'm just going to take that momentum going forward. And again, I'm going to prove to everybody why I belong here. That's it.
I believe it already. You made a believer out of me. Danny Storm, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.